Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Jim and Harstem on Frozen Temple. In the top left side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Jim. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is Harstem. Okay, so PvP for you guys from WCS 2016 Spring. I haven't done a PvP for a while, so I'd figured I would cast one for those of you who are playing Protoss on the ladder, because I guarantee you're coming up against other Protoss, and it's helpful to see what the Masters are doing in this matchup. Alright, so there is a Gateway first, and the Gateway first over here. Based on the production tab, it looks like they're doing the exact same thing. There's the assimilator. Let's see how long it takes for Harstem to get his assimilator ready, set, go. There it is. Okay, so it looks like Harstem is just a little bit behind here. Nothing really to worry about, but it's just something to keep an eye on as the game goes on. Will Harstem have trouble keeping up in probe count, etc., etc.? But both players going that double assimilator play, which means we probably will see some either Adept or Stalker opening. It's either Adept or Stalker opening. Double Gateway there. Yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be anything else. I do have my list of Adept names, Adept duos, ready to go. In case we do see two Adepts, we can name them awesome stuff. Some of you guys have some really, really great Adept name suggestions I have on the list here, but only one pair will get chosen today, unless they both go dual Adept, in which case this is going to be difficult. But either way, Cybernetics Core for both these guys. Not getting any Zealots, because Zealots are useless in early PvP. Might as well not even have them, just because Adepts do well against them, Stalkers do well against them. If your opponent goes Stalker or Adept, your Zealots will die, likely without getting any scouting information or doing hardly any damage whatsoever, assuming your opponent knows what they're doing with their micro. So, alright, here we go. Cybernetics Core just wrapping up for both of these players. It's really amazing to see how close they are on their timings. Look at that. Just amazing. Alright, and then, oh, immediate Mothership Core, and then Stalker. I was going to say, Stalkers are good against Adepts just because they outrange them, and they're fast, and they're kind of hard to pin down for the Adepts. The Adepts do not do extra damage versus them, as they are armored. Stalkers are armored, and Adepts, unfortunately, only do bonus damage versus light. So, Stalker does seem to be the way to go, unfortunately, for those of you who are Adept fans, Adept naming fans. Better luck next time. So, hey, we have some deviation here. Mothership Core on the way from Harstem, as we already mentioned. Jim already has his popped out. It looks like both people going for Warp Gate Research and another Gateway. So, how are we looking on Gateways? That's 2 and 2. And, yeah, Jim's going to have 3 here, which leads me to believe that Harstem's probably saving up for an expansion at this point. His minerals are getting a little bit high for this stage in the game. If he wanted to spend that money, he absolutely could be spending that money, but instead, he's letting that creep on up, and there goes the probe, and here come, well, those are Harstem Stalkers. I was like, Jim Stalkers, no. Nope, those are Jim Stalkers. And here we go, Stalker Micro. This reminds me so much of Brood War, just the little tiny, tiny skirmishes, tiny little incidents where Micro is hugely important. Throwing up a pylon there for defense. I assume that's going to be a photon overchargeable by the Mothership Core pylon. And yeah, I mean, Jim, are you expanding at any point now, Jim? No, Jim's one base in it here, going for a lot of Stalkers, and might just try to overwhelm Harstem in the early game with a mass Stalker play. I don't see any indication that he's going for Blink, mind you. That would be a little bit better, but just straight Stalker, maybe just overwhelm your opponent who went for a bit of an earlier expand than you. So hey, who knows? It'll work out for Jim, maybe not. He's long distance mining with this probe, which seems weird. He has enough for an expansion, but he's not using it to expand. Jim, use that probe to expand. Alright, not doing it. Sentries in the mix. Stalkers moving on out. And yeah, I like the defense with the sentries. That's a good way to go. Robotics facility up for Harstem, which means we're going to see some Immortals, which really does well against Stalkers here. Are you still not expanding, Jim? This is blowing my mind. Alright, so Hallucinating Phoenix sees all the Stalkers that are here. Stalker versus Stalker. Sentries trying to get picked off. Photon Overcharge assisting with it too. Does force Jim to stay back just a little bit now. And yeah, army supply is 22 to 18. So Jim has a bit of an advantage, but the longer this goes on, the smaller it's going to be. Photon Overcharge again, trying to kill some stuff. It does wear out. There's another one, and pushing right on forward here is Harstem. Taking out a few. Oh, that was a nice pick off there, getting one of those Stalkers. Again, one Stalker can be the difference. It can really snowball from there. Killing one of your opponent's Stalkers, now you have 10, he has 9, and it just kind of goes in a good position. First Immortal on the way for Harstem. He really needs that Immortal. Desperately does. That pylon has a single kill to its name, which is pretty fantastic. And yeah, 2 Adepts. Hey! 2 Adepts on the way for Jim. I can't name them. Too much other stuff going on. Sorry. Ooh, that Stalker's very low on HP. Once again, not having Blink just means you have to run away when you're being shot at. An expansion is finally now coming up for Jim. It just seems so late. Income tab 27 to 28. Sentries at the front. I mean, the sentries being at the front was very dangerous. I was going to say I don't know if any of them have died, but 2 died right there. Yikes, that was not good. And here comes the Immortal. The Immortal does 50 damage versus armored targets, which is what these Stalkers are, which is so much of their total HP. Wait, who the what? How did 5 probes die there? Hang on. Oh, Adepts got in here with a warp prism. Was it a warp prism? Must have been a warp prism. Because there's no way they shaded up this ramp and Harstem didn't see it. Alright, so they cleared out the Adepts. Not a huge problem there. Again, oh, Immortal takes out a sentry. Nice targeting fire there. And chasing Jim back just a little bit. Harstem doesn't want to overextend himself, but getting Jim further away from his base does benefit him. That base is still not up for Jim. Oh no, Jim. So it's 29 to 29 harvesters, but this has got to be so oversaturated right now. Well, it was until this transfer happened. So good timing on the transfer. The base just ended up finishing, and now you have about 5 workers there. 5 workers. More dead stuff over here. Is that another Adept? Is there a warp prism I'm missing? How are these Adepts getting inside the base? Is there a pylon I don't see? Oh, these guys just walked right inside. Alright, so they walked right inside the main base. Unfortunately for them, there was an army waiting. I don't think they... Well, no, they did get 3 kills according to this tally over here, so that's not bad. I mean, 3 worker kills. You got to keep harassing at this point, especially because, you know, your opponent had their base up earlier than yours. Finding this base... Oh, found it. Found it. Found you guys. Trying to warp on in and be all sneaky. Alright, Adepts taking shots to the face. Run! Run, Adepts! No, one ends up dead. The other one going in here for some scouting information. Can't hope to live. Cancel? Nope, can't not a cancel. Going after those probes. 2-shotting them all the live long day. Bam. Alright, so Jim, I don't know. Jim might be doing a little bit better than I expected. He's killed 11 workers to this point. That is dead impressive. He has 2 bases. His worker count is currently 35 to 33, so he has a slight lead up there on Harstem. Army supply is 30 to 35. Harstem has that lead now. So it looks like the tables will turn just a little bit. Jim with a better economy, Harstem with a better army, especially with those 2 Immortals mixed in. Holy shamoly. Again, Immortals are good. Stalker's finally taken down this forward pylon that has done Jim so well. He did transition here into Phoenix, double pumping Phoenix. Mind you, I don't know if he has enough stuff left at the front here to defend once Harstem shows up, but here we go. Stalkers getting those shots off. Oh, force field. Keeping the Stalkers from getting up here, but then Harstem doesn't really follow it up with anything. I almost might bring the Immortals in the front, take out those pylons. Again, these are armored because they're structures. They die pretty quickly to the Immortals, but instead Harstem decides to back on out. Did he see an Adept of his own is in here, killing some more of these here workers, getting lifted and destroyed? I don't know. Is he worried about the Phoenix? Why is he pulling back here? I thought he was in a pretty solid position to do some threatening on the front door, but nope. Apparently not the case. Pylon, and +1 on the ground. Weapons, 3rd base coming up for Harstem. Again, upgrading before his opponent. Phoenix Flock for Jim is at 8, which is really high, honestly. So here we go. Phoenix trying to mix it up. Going right after this stuff. Oh, Mothership Core does end up getting killed. Photon Overcharge chasing those guys away. More and more Phoenix coming to join the throng, continuing to double pump them. Is he going mass Phoenix here? What is happening? I mean, I don't play a lot of PvP, obviously, but this seems very strange indeed. You could almost lift. Well, he's lifting the sentries anyway, so that's good. Lifting Stalkers, I don't know if it's a great idea, but he's doing it. He's lifting those Stalkers. He's losing a couple Adepts in the process. A brand new group of Stalkers shows up, though, and that's it. Cancel, run. Cancel, run, don't die. That is the plan. So the Phoenix actually in straight-up battles against a Stalker sentry army did pretty well there. Did end up killing a bunch of sentries. Resources lost pretty even, though, 2,500 to 2,600. Harstem has lost a little bit more in that regard. Let's see, where else are we going? There's the blink I was talking about like 5 minutes ago. Harstem finally wrapping it up. Getting some cannons. Getting a Templar Archives is Harstem. That's likely going to be for Archons. I don't know that Templar are especially good in this matchup, but Archons are fantastic. Blinking forward, and ooh, a couple workers do die, but they get a Phoenix for their trouble. Phoenix Ball is now at 8 again, so it lost a couple, replaced a couple. you know, circle of life. Third base up there for Jim. Third base up and running for Harstem, but nothing is mining from it, which is a little bit odd. I guess he's been playing defense against these Phoenix for quite a while. There is definitely a cannon here. I don't know if we're going to walk in. Photon overcharge and cannon combination, pretty good. Moving right on into the main base. This is why Harstem can't move out. Harstem can't move out with these Phoenix flying around wrecking his day, but another couple die there. And for now, it looks like Jim has stopped making those Phoenix. He's transitioning over into Immortals, but the Immortal count is 2-1. Only 2. I thought Harstem would continue with that Immortal production, but he's really not. Let's see, that's another gateway. There's your Templar Archives. There are your Templar. All right, so I think the Templar are going to be used again for the Archon. We'll have to see if that happens or not. 4 Phoenix flying around. 4 Phoenix, a lot less effective than 8 against Protoss. Worker count right now is 51 to 54. Harstem has a slight lead. APM for these guys, about 300 for each of them on average. Harstem playing a little bit faster, I would say. Hard to tell exactly from those numbers, but they give us a pretty good idea. Hallucinated Phoenix, scouting out actual Phoenix. Sentry finishes the kill. You don't actually get credit for killing a hallucinated object, right? No. No, it does not look like you do. Warp Prism here for Harstem, not doing much of anything right now. It seems like an obstacle. High Templar and a High Templar. What do we got? Robotics Facility, Robotics Bay. So Disruptor? Can't imagine it's going to be Colossus. Can't imagine it's going to be Colossus. I don't know. And are these guys? That's an Adept. Where are my Templar? Once again, Phoenix are chased away. Templar. There you are. And yeah, doesn't have Storm. I guess you could just use it for straight feedback, but what are you feedbacking at this point? The only thing that has energy are these sentries, and you're not super worried about them. Phoenix Cloud. Oh, is that a little replenish? A little replenished. 6 of them now for Jim, continuing to fly around and murder stuff. Sitting back here is Harstem. Not quite sure if he wants to move out. He is setting some production structures up here for reasons I don't fully understand. And here we go. Phoenix moving out. Hallucinated Phoenix scouting. Getting shot in its hallucinated face. And a Resonating Glaze, and it is Disruptors. All right, so we haven't seen Disruptors a whole lot in this matchup. For a long time in Legacy of the Void, it was all we saw in PvP was Disruptor Stalker, and it was like if you got a couple of good hits, you won, and if you didn't, you lost. It was very knife fighty that way. But then players got better at blinking forward and taking out Stalkers, or taking out Disruptors using Blink Stalkers, and rendering them essentially useless, or lifting them. Lifting Disruptors is also good. Perhaps what these Phoenix are for. Oh, let's see if that's what happens. That would make a lot of sense. All right, so here it is. Pretty darn big army. Both players, though, I'm going to say even. 86 to 84. Yeah. Worker supply 59 to 57. This is one of the closest PvPs I've ever seen. Let's see who decides to move out first. Archon's here for Jim. Are those the first Archon of the game? First Archon of the game goes to Jim, even though Harstem got his Templar Archives a long time ago. All right, Harstem. I guess he's planning on using feedback here instead. Templar is working up to that 200 maximum energy. Feedback is 50. Drains all energy from the target and deals 1 damage per point of energy. So really good against things like full medevacs or like infestors. I've seen it used to great effect that way. Vipers too. Viper's pretty good, but usually against medevacs. That seems to be the target. All right, so Harstem is moving out. He has Stalkers, he has Adepts, he has Immortals, he has Sentries, he has Disruptors and Templar and an Overseer. Observer. And here it is, as you want to go up the ramp. It's a little scary to go up the ramp. Just a little bit super mega terrifying to go up that ramp. Adepts going up to scout. Just see what's going on. They're not going to finish that, and they don't finish that transfer. Harstem says, I can do this. You know what? No, I can't. I can do it. No, I can't. I can do it. No, I can't. Decides to back on out there. So Harstem's going all the way home. Come on, man. You walked over there. Do something. Do something about it. 4th base? That's a 4th base for Jim. 4th base over here. Again, up and running forward to the Harstem. But he doesn't... making use of it here now to some extent, but I just don't feel like he has it really up and running as soon as he possibly could. Maybe something to do with Harstem. I don't actually know. So, alright. Harstem says, I'm not going to walk up that ramp. That's suicide. There's a whole army sitting up there. But guess what? This is Frozen Temple. There's another way to cause damage to my enemies and hear the lamentations of their women. I'm going to attack the 4th base and try to win that way. So here goes Harstem, sends in a Hallucinate Phoenix, and Jim recognizes what is going on. Decides to say, hey, there's the feedback on the Phoenix? Did he feedback the Phoenix? I mean, that seems okay, but... Alright, so Harstem maxed out. He does have a couple forward photon overcharge pylons. Did he bring the Mothership Core with him? I don't think he did. She's back here playing defense. I mean, this is dancey. This is as dancey as it ever gets. The dance, 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 dance. And yep, he's lifting stuff here to get rid of the energy on the Phoenix so he doesn't get feedback too bad. I think that's what the intent is there. We've seen something similar before. Harstem walling off here, which seems very odd. Purification Nova catching a couple Archons, doing some damage there. Feedback on all of the Phoenix, exactly what Jim was trying not to go for. Oh, good old explosion there, taking down a Zealot, I believe that was. Guardian Shield coming up, coming at a weird angle though as Harstem. Pure Nova hitting a couple Stalkers, killing them immediately. Big time battle here as Jim just pushing forward. There is a time warp. The Disruptors are trying to get focused down. The Phoenix are trying to do stuff, but no, the Phoenix are getting whittled down as well there. Nonetheless, Jim is pushing Harstem back. Oh, big Nova hit there, getting rid of an Immortal. That is huge play. Archons trying to do their best too, but they are very, very low on HP and shields, which is really the more important thing, and that's it. A GG from Jim. Jim is defeated, Harstem is victorious, and Jim has left the game. Well done to Harstem. Good display there, good display of patience. I don't know that he ever really did that much damage to Jim. I mean, he killed 4 workers. He did defense a lot, but I mean, he wasn't up here in his grill until that very end. And even then, he didn't really get up here and start threatening the 4th at all. He just won this big battle very handily. 164 to 90 total supply. Resources lost 14,000 to 9,000. Woo, that was just an effective use of his abilities. The Phoenix weren't as good for Jim as they thought that they would be. Disruptors were good. 7, 6, 4, 3, 1, 8. All right, the Disruptors were pretty fantastic. Pretty fantastic. Jim didn't split or dodge as well as he ought to, and that was it. So that is it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.